दिया है, अनुराग कर रहा है. Okay, comprehensive. Even with this team, even with a team which has 4 changes, the West Indies still can't beat India. There was no Rohit, no Surya Kumar, no Rishabh Pant, no Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Yet this team cannot. Yet this West Indies team cannot beat India. Ravi Bishnoi 4 wickets, Kuldeep Yadav 3 wickets, Akshar Patel with the remaining wickets, and it was trial by spin for the West Indies, who lost by a heavy margin and they have lost the series 4-1. So, Nikhil, very strange game, isn't it? This match, I think, was stranger because for the changes that were made in both sides and because of the experimentation. Jason Holder to promote up the order, Akshar Patel to open the bowling. Are we overdoing the experimentation bit?
No, I'm okay with this. I see there is reason in whatever Akshar opening the bowling or Jason Holder batting higher up the order. He did it, I think, last game as well. So,
Yep.
that is something that we've seen. He's a capable enough batsman. I don't know. I'm finding it hard to believe. Is it the same country that is the most successful team in T20 history? They won 2 T20 World Cups. Is it the same country? I mean, I know it's not the same team, and there is no same team for any country over the years, but
Yeah.
that pedigree is clearly not visible in West Indies. I knew that India went in as favorite, but that West Indies was going to capitulate the way they did. That's something that I didn't expect. And again, for India's changes, also, I'm not surprised in terms of the changes they made to the playing 11 or whatever. That's fine. Just the kind of competition that West Indies has put up. I think maybe India realized that, and I think since they've already won the series, there wasn't much to lose here. So I think they said, you know, might as well go make as many changes as you want. So yeah, pretty disappointing game. I think it's happened for the first time. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think first time in the history of T20 any match where all 10 wickets have gone down to spinners. It's happened for
Yes.
the very first time. It's never happened before. So
Wow. Yeah,
yeah,
3 Akshar, 4 Bishnoi, 3 Kuldeep.
yeah,
But again, today we saw that Shreyas Iyer came to
yeah.
open. Ishan Kishan, after so many matches sitting on the bench, he gets a game now in a dead rubber. I got a feeling, Nikhil, that perhaps this is a
Hmm.
clear indication to Ishan Kishan that perhaps you are not in the scheme of things heading into the Asia Cup and the ICC World T20. I got that inclination today because why would you play Ishan in a dead rubber when you should have played him much earlier?
No, but I think that's better than not playing him at all, right? I mean, I had that
Hmm.
impression that he's out of the scheme of things, but they've played him, so which is fine. I mean, uh, I understand that they may not be very serious about persisting with Ishan Kishan going forward, and that's the impression we get. But I'm glad at least he got a game.
Yeah.
Uh, it would have been very unfair. Remember, he was also part of the ODI series, never got a single game
Yes.
there. And then T20s wouldn't get a game. I know this was more of a formality, a cursory sort of a chance that he got. I mean, but it's better than not getting a chance at all. So on that, but again, not a fair chance. Should have got a little bit of a longer rope. I'm not going to judge his performance by this one-off game that he gets because he's sitting out on the bench. You make him play this one game, and then you expect him to what? Come out with an outstanding performance. That's not going to happen. So, uh, I mean, so that's not something I'm going to look at. But yeah, I think in the larger scheme of thing, I doubt if they're looking at him going forward. I think he's not in the
It's,
scheme of things. Yeah.
yeah. Then again, today we saw another very interesting battle between teammates, Shreyas Iyer and Deepak Huda. Shreyas Iyer got a very good 50, 64 of 39 balls. Deepak Huda, a very solid 38, a partnership of 76. But yet again, two players, I think they are battling out for one position. And I think Iyer has just inched ahead in this battle
No, but
because of this knock.
I don't know how. So again, that's the most confusing bit. So, and everyone who joins us, I'm going to take all of their comments as well and their sentiments. We even did a poll on Sports Today, so I know for most people, Shreyas Iyer was out of the scheme of things. They said he has
Yes.
a problem with short pitch delivery. Just before this match, I'm talking about, and then he was not played the last game. I'm talking about before that. It's out of the scheme. Now has a good game, so he's now in the scheme of things, and then everyone is out. Are we going to be deciding everyone based on one match, whether they do good or not? Again, that is something that you need to look at. If you ask me, I think that Shreyas Iyer, yes, he's got problems again, fast bowling, short pitch bowling. Also, he's got a lot of chances, may not have set the stage on fire. But all things considered, I don't think he's been that bad either. Yeah, but
Yes.
for some reason, I don't think he gets a lot of support from most people. I don't think he's the fans' favorite as well, and I've seen it based on the polls that we've done. So with all that in mind, I think he's lagged down a bit in that race. But if he had to go, I mean, I think where he stands at the moment, if he had to go for the T20 World Cup, I don't think too many people would have an issue. If he was to not go and somebody else, also I don't think that people would have a lot of issues. So I think he stands in a very neutral position as of now, as far as his T20 World Cup is concerned. Same for Deepak Hooda, by the way. I think if he was to go, people would be okay, fine, maybe, not a bad idea. But if they didn't take him, also, I don't think people are going to be up in arms. So I think that's where both Shreyas Iyer and Deepak Hooda, both of them find themselves in at the moment.
But again, how fair is it? Like, as you had pointed out, Ishan Kishan did not get a fair game. Just one game, and you're not going to judge him on that. Shreyas Iyer does well in one game. The amount of chopping and changing and the amount of confusion that has been created by giving players too many chances, not too much of a long rope. I mean, how fair will our assessment be as to who's doing well, who is doing badly? Isn't that entire dynamic thrown out of the window now?
Yeah, but who's thrown that out of the window? And I think you got to
The
blame the
team
team
management.
management for it. Yeah, you're changing players so often, and someone gets 2 games, 1 game here and there. Of course, they will succeed in some, fail in some. And what are you supposed to do? Take calls based on that? Again, I think that's, or maybe, and I go back to what Rahul Dravid had said. Maybe that is what they're thinking. He had said that we're not looking at a pool of 15, and we keep saying 15. He said we're looking at a pool of 18, 20 maybe. And if you were to look at a pool of 18, 20, then all of them fit in. Maybe a Shreyas fits in two, a Deepak Hooda fits in two, a Ravi Bishnoi also comes in there, maybe a Kuldeep Yadav too. So if you open up 3, 4 spaces, then all of them fit in. And what that means is that while officially you will have to declare your 15 to the ICC, you could still take 3, 4 with you as part of the larger squad. And we know that BCCI has done that in the past. So maybe they're
Yes.
looking at that, telling everyone that listen, don't keep looking at 15. Maybe we'll take more players. So that's the situation there. And I think I don't think the picture is any clearer. If you were expecting the West Indies series to be that series that will give you a clear picture as to what the future holds and what the team will look like, I don't think it's given you the clear picture. I think all of them are on the same position. Whether it's a Shreyas, a Deepak Hooda, are there? I mean, throw in Sanju Samson as well if you'd like. Though I always felt that he was a bit low in terms of that pecking order. And that's not got to do anything with the talent that they have. It's just how the team was looking at these players and looking at the opportunities. And I think Ishan is somewhere where Sanju is. Shreyas and Hooda slightly ahead on that front. So this is where things stand. What that does is, by the way, it makes it very easy for a few established players.
Yep.
I don't think KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and all of them are going to feel too much of pressure because there isn't that one guy who's really knocking the winds out of the opponent and who's doing very, very well. So there isn't that real guy. So if you had to still say, though, I'm going to go with tried and tested of a Rohit Sharma or a Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, again, I don't think fans would have a problem. I don't know whether that's happened by design or whether it's happened coincidentally, but that's what has happened. Everything seems fine. Everything seems primed to a situation where all these senior players will make a comeback, and I don't think there'll be too much of a hue and cry as things stand.
There was an appeal. There was a real. They were pleading. Our family members were pleading. Is this the last time we are going to see the experimentation? The West Indies series, was it the last? Or when the Asia Cup squad is announced, hopefully by tomorrow, the experimentation, is it going to continue? Ideal world, I would say it should stop with just about 70 days to go for the World T20.
Hmm.
But do you think, looking at this management, the experimentation will continue even in the Asia Cup and right until the last match against South Africa?
Uh, I mean, how do you? Uh, I mean, if you ask me how I would see things, I would want the experimentation to stop. Even when doesn't matter where you are in the Asia Cup, doesn't matter who you're playing in the Asia Cup. I wouldn't want to see any sort of experiments, and there are a few reasons behind that. Simply because not too much time for the T20 World Cup, and
Yes.
every game that you play as a full strength 11 or a full strength 12, 13, whoever gives you a chance to understand who will do what in a certain situation. It'll help the players to understand their roles better. It'll also help the captain to understand the roles better. All of it put together, I think the earlier you start playing your team, the better. However, my fear is that in the Asia Cup, because just the way the format is, just the way the opposition teams are, there's a good chance that the two best teams in India and Pakistan make it. So you could see a situation where India and Pakistan, so India plays its best team whenever they're playing Pakistan. So you see the best team. And then when you're going to play a qualifier in the group game, maybe you experiment there. You might experiment a few games. I don't know whether they'll take that risk of experimenting versus an Afghanistan or a Bangladesh or a Sri Lanka. That could be a possibility. I don't know whether they'll do that. So there will be opportunities there to experiment. You ask me personally, I wouldn't want them to experiment at all. Doesn't matter if you're playing a qualifier, doesn't matter if you're playing Sri Lanka, doesn't matter if you're playing Bangladesh who are not in great form, doesn't matter if you're playing Afghanistan who are a dangerous team, but still there's a bit of a gap between an India and an Afghanistan. Whatever said and done, I wouldn't want any more experiments to happen. Whatever it is, if you've decided, you know, Huda doesn't go, fine, leave him. If you decided Ayer doesn't go, fine, leave him. Whatever you've decided, just go with that team now and then stick to it through the duration of the Asia Cup and then go forward. And then that team goes to the T20 World Cup. These guys, whoever you leave out, whether it's a Sanju Samson, Ishan, Kishan, Deepak Huda, Shreyas Iyer, whoever is that you decide to leave out, can only be your backup if in case of an injury. So you've prepped them for that. That's about it. But nothing more, nothing less. So that's what I would hope for. But I have a sneaking feeling that you might see a few experiments in those uh, relatively easier games in the Asia Cup.
Yeah, that is. I mean, looking at what the Indian cricket team is like wanting to do, they want to create a Frankensteinian monster
Hmm.
through these experiments, and they want to decimate everything that lies in its path. What the problem is, this Frankensteinian monster threatens to fall apart bits and pieces if it's not implemented in the proper way. That is what I have a feeling, and it's a repeat of 2019 and 2021 if they do it all over again. As we said,
Yeah.
too many players for too few positions. That is
Yeah.
the problem. We all know what is our 13 out of 15.
Yes. The other interesting bit is which Harish is pointing out. I saw a lot of other people also speak about that. I
Yes.
missed your name, sorry. And I think the tougher call now, as I said, in batsmen, no one is really put his hand up and claimed that spot in the middle order and said that belongs to me. So no one
Yep.
has really pounced on that opportunity. Nobody, not Shreyas, not Huda, not Samsung, not Kishan, whatever. Irrespective of the chances that they got, maybe someone got one game. You could look at that critically, but at the end of the day, there's no one who's like really stand out amongst any one of them, right?
Yes.
But in the spinners department, it's becoming very interesting because I understand that UC Chahal and Jadeja are the two front runners, but then the third spinner spot, Akshar has been doing well. Ravi Bishnoi has done well today. Kuldeep Yadav, you
Kuldeep
hardly
did well.
he's doing very well now. So plenty of options. If you were to
Harsh
ask,
Khatri is like
yeah,
Harsh
and
Khatri is saying
yeah.
Aksar or Huda can be a backup for Jadeja. That's what
No,
he's
I
claiming.
don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll do that. They're either going to go as batsmen, purely as batsmen. And
Yes.
that's my feeling. That's my feeling. I don't think they're going to do that. But if you ask me who's the third spinner, and I know there is Ashwin there is a Bishnoi, and there is a Kuldeep. I'm tempted to take Kuldeep Yadav. He is a match winner. He is a wicket taker. And if I need a wicket taker, I'll take him. If I want part-time spinner, that's another thing. That could be a Jadeja or a Huda or an Akshar. But uh, proven
That's great record in
wicket
Australia for
taker,
Kuldeep's
yes,
case.
wicket taker. I would take Kuldeep, but that's again something complete personal or how I've seen
Yep.
things. I don't know whether the team will look at it
Yep.
like that. Just one comment I wanted to take Piyush Nandre, because he's a regular watcher. He says if India wins gold, you will reach 1 lakh subscribers today. Today meaning I think it'll be tomorrow now, because today is
It's
almost 10
already
minutes.
tomorrow.
Yeah, so today meaning the Monday, right? 8th of
Yes.
August. I think 8th of August, good chance we reach 100K subscriber. If we do, we'll have a mini party. Uh, and I'll be in office today. I couldn't be in office. I had some personal work also, and there is plenty of news happening in and around where I stay. It's the biggest news of national news right now. If housing society in Noida going through a bit of an uh, issue with
Oh.
a politician. So that's where I stay at the
Oh,
moment, and
okay. Okay.
there's a lot of police movement and a lot of news channels. So that is happening, but I'm guessing by Monday I'll be in office, and I'll be there to celebrate that. Hopefully, we'll order a cake and cut that cake and enjoy. By the way, I'm loving the women's game. I mean, so much for this men's game, which was such a one-sided, boring one.
One-sided.
This one's turning out to be a humdinger,
Thriller. Absolute humdinger.
for me, this is a Harmanpreet game. If
Yep.
Harmanpreet is there, she wins it. She wins it.
And
And
Harmanpreet was the individual who bulldozed Australia with that 171. And that changed the
yes,
entire face of.
semi-final.
Yep.
Yep.
It changed Indian women's cricket forever. That knock.
No, it changed women's cricket forever.
Yes.
So much interest. So much
Yep.
interest. Yeah.
That is the thing. So Harmanpreet is still there for Ricky Patel. I think what's the status of the women's game? Harmanpreet is still there. Until she's there,
Yeah.
India have a chance
It's
to win
80
the
for
gold medal.
2, India 80 for 2. And I think they're chasing at I mean,
162.
9
Yep.
per over. 9 per
Yes,
over.
9 per over. Yep.
That shouldn't be a problem. As I said, Harman's going to be key. I know Jemima played a very good knock in the semi-finals, so she's crucial. But if I had to pick one wicket or one batter, that could make a huge difference.
Harmanpreet.
Yeah, I'm going with Harmanpreet. Yeah.
Because the problem with the India women's cricket team is, unfortunately, Jemima and Deepti, they're all accumulators and they can get over the line with ones and twos and a couple of fours. But Harmanpreet is your real power hitter. If she gets in, she can take the game away from the opposition with swift blows. That's
Tell
the
me
power.
one thing though. I really find it weird. Miss McGrath tested positive for coronavirus. How is she allowed to play and take the field?
Yeah.
She even catch. How could you do that?
Because what happened was, the sequence of events was like this. The toss in Edgbaston was delayed. We are
Okay.
all wondering what is the situation. But apparently the tweet came out that Talia McGrath had tested positive for the
Yeah.
coronavirus. She had experienced mild symptoms. Mild symptoms, and that is why she was allowed to play. Since the CWG does not have a bio bubble,
How can you do that? If I'm an opposition player, you're putting me at risk. I could take objection to that. How can the ICC?
safety has been totally compromised.
Yes. Yes.
That's what we have mentioned. We did a live and we said that safety was compromised because Talia McGrath, okay, she may wear a mask, she may have sanitization, everything, but you risk infecting a lot of other players within your vicinity. With no bio bubble in the UK, with no other protocols in place, this was the loophole that they all exploited, and Talia McGrath got to play, which would have been impossible if there was a bio bubble in place.
Yeah.
Very, very surprising. I found it very, very surprising. How could they allow Talia McGrath and risk the safety of the players? It could result in a super spreading event. Who knows?
Yeah, and there's a good point that Harsh Dubey makes. He says Novak Djokovic is not allowed to play Grand Slams because he's not taken vaccination, let alone be positive for a coronavirus. And you have somebody who's positive for coronavirus playing an active match. I mean, that's.
And imagine this is from that country which had the strictest vaccination rules. And look what has happened here in Edgbaston.
Exactly.
Very, 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 very surprising. Big issue. That might be a big issue going later on.
Yeah, I think this should be raised. You can't allow that. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Sid, tell me, if an Indian player tested positive, I don't know, Harmanpreet tested positive, would she be allowed to play?
There would have been objections raised. Definitely. But not a single objection raised in the question of the Aussies. Not a single. I just don't understand. They would have had to delay the match. Who knows? Oh, reschedule it or maybe share the gold medal if an Indian player had tested positive, by the way. Looking at how things are, the mindset, how it is. But here, You just allowed an Aussie with just mild symptoms, but you allowed her to play. I mean, I just don't understand this logic. I mean, UK is warped. It's warped philosophy. I just don't understand.
Unbelievable. I'm going to take this super chat by Angad Kapoor. He says, so Australia doesn't allow Novak to play because he was not vaccinated, but today Australia has allowed a player to play despite being COVID positives. Exactly what we were talking about. What's the point of testing then? Actually, yeah, he makes a valid point, Angad. Then get rid of testing, positive or not, you're going to anyway play. Get rid of testing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. This entire incident does not make sense at all.
Yeah.
With regards to Talia Mugra,
By
I
the
just
way,
don't know what
as we speak, she's even bowling now. Unbelievable.
I really can't make sense of this decision. I mean, I understand that the UK does not have biobubbles in place, but they have also got the highest infection rates now currently.
Wow.
And you're putting not just the 11 Indian players and the entire support staff in Edgbaston at risk, but you're risking another super spreading event. It's really, really problematic. Shambolic.
There have been a lot of dodgy things that have happened in this Commonwealth Games. A lot of boxing decisions that eyebrows were raised about.
The penalty retake controversy.
Yes, the penalty retake controversy versus Australia. And now this. I mean, I don't know how all of this is allowed.
I think this stops it. No one is going to talk about it, but this is a major issue. How can you allow a COVID positive player where the world has still not gotten over the pandemic? You still allow her to play in a gold medal match with thousands in attendance.
Yeah. But why has the Indian cricket team not raised an objection? I want to know.
Are they in a position to raise? Because look,
why not?
If there was a biobubble in place,
players are playing, and I'm a player or I'm a coach or whatever, my players are at risk. Why not?
Yep. But then it will become an even bigger issue. Why? Because the UK does not have a biobubble. Even in the CWG, there was no active biobubble protocol in place. All biobubbles were eliminated. And by the way, I think Harmanpreet has got to over 50. And India are 94 for 2. On course for a famous win.
Mr. Shekhar has a super chat. He sent it from the US of A. He says, once Virat Kohli is in, let's suppose, Iyer is pushed to number 4, ousting Sky, given the sympathy and a strong lobby for Iyer. Would you raise your voice? Of course, Mr. Shekhar.
Of course.
I don't think Iyer can push Surya Kumar Yadav out. Surya Kumar Yadav is, and I repeat, I've said it before, the best T20 batsman in India right now. He's ranked number 2, and even if you're not very serious about ICC ranking, just the kind of impact he has, the kind of play that he does. For me,
if you nudge Sky out, you are committing the ultimate harakiri. Even before a ball has been bowled in the World T20.
I think there is no cause for concern here. There's no way Sky goes. No way. Nobody pushes Sky out. Virat can come in, no way Sky goes out. So there's a run-out appeal, is it, I think, in the game.
Yes. Oh, I think, but she's in. The batter's in.
She's in. Super.
The batter's
super.
in. So.
I'm enjoying this game even more. Shall we wrap up?
Yes.
Then
all eyes will be on this Commonwealth Games gold medal match. Absolute humdinger.
Yep.
And going for gold. And I believe, gut instinct, India is going to win.
I'm with you.
Yes.
I'm going Harman.
Look, Harmanpreet. If Harmanpreet is there, India have always beaten Australia in clutch situations. 2017 World Cup semi-final, 2020 league match. Even here, they will do it.
Okay.
Yes. Bye-bye. Take care.
Enjoy the game.
And don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today, folks. The action is just warming up.
100K mark.
Yes. We shall reach it soon.
There is a no. Okay, I think I took that super chat. Okay, it's done.
Yeah, Mr. Shekhar.
No, I took it. See you tomorrow.
Yep.
Bye. Enjoy the women's.
Tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Type done.